All right. Good evening, dear students. Thank you very much for being with me tonight. Quite a pleasure to be joining you in this practice class because, well, as I told you yesterday, we have finalized with our reading section theoretical discussion, I'm sorry, to this point. And now it's time for us to move on and to continue with the practice, okay? So as I say, tonight's class is going to be merely for practicing this section. And I know that you're going to find this to be very much helpful and beneficial for your learning, okay? So let me start by streaming this to YouTube, of course, and then we're going to start. Give me a little second. There we are. Okay, just one sec. Here, all right. And we're on here. Awesome. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, very glad that more people are joining us. That is good because we're going to have more people participating in tonight's practice. Okay, there you are. Well, maybe you are wondering, how are we going to practice? And the way that we're going to do it is that you're going to be receiving right now, I'm going to send it to the WhatsApp group, a Google document that I was preparing the entire afternoon for you, but I'm very much content with the result. And this document is going to be an entire reading practice. It's going to contain 3 reading passages and, of course, 10 questions per passage. And you're going to have time in order to read that. And, of course, in this case, you're not going to have the entire time of the section because remember that the reading section lasts for 54 minutes. Nonetheless, of course, we don't have that time right now, but it's okay. So let me share my screen with you. And for those of you who are joining us right now, I was talking to your classmates and sharing the news that tonight we're going to practice for the reading section. And the way that we're going to practice for the reading section is by using this. Let me send it to the WhatsApp groups right now, here to this one and to this one as well. All right, there you have. So if you open this link, dear students, you're going to find out what I just sent is this document. As you can see, this document is, as I was mentioning as well, a document that I was preparing the entire afternoon, but I am very much happy that with the results, as I say, with the outcome. And well, this is it. This Google document contains 3 reading passages, just as you're going to receive on the normal version of the reading section, okay, as we talked about it. And when you get into it, you're going to notice that each reading passage contains, of course, 10 questions, okay? And well, your task tonight is going to be to read these passages, okay? Apply all the techniques, approaches we have discussed, the charts, the strategy, etc. And as you can see, you have to respond to questions. Now, you cannot edit this document, okay? Because everything will be a chaos, right? If you can edit this. But nonetheless, the way that we're going to do it is this manner. You have the questions here, right? First question for the first passage. Take an extra sheet of paper with you, or you can actually just open another Word document by yourself and write down, okay, on that document, the responses for each question for each passage. That is to say, first passage, first question. My response is the second option, right? Because as you can see, I have separated them with numbers, so you can know, of course, which one you have chosen. And at the end, when you come back, because I'm going to send you right now to breakout rooms in order not to perturbate you, and of course, if somebody else gets into it, I'll have to explain this again. And of course, when you're reading, you don't want somebody bothering you. When you come back, okay, you're going to be able to compare your responses with mine. When you write down on a paper, as I say, your responses for each question. Okay, so please do that. Don't forget to do that. Okay, you're going to have time until 8:50, which means you're going to have 40 minutes in order to perform on this practice. On the actual exam, you have 54, as I told you. So please don't worry if you don't finalize the practice tonight. We are practicing, that's the reason, but nonetheless, try to apply everything we learned. And until that time, you will have the opportunity to complete this, and then you're going to come back to share your responses with us, okay? Well, is there any question, dear students, with regard to the activity we're going to be doing right now? Anything that I could clarify? Questions?
No question.
Okay. Thank you very much, Jorge. All right. So I'm gonna send you to your breakout rooms. Okay. And as I say, I'm gonna call you back whenever your time is over. That is, as I say, at 8:50. I'm gonna share my chronometer with you anyway, so that you can see how much time you have. And as I say, please join your breakout rooms. And when the time is over, I'm gonna call you back. Okay. So I see you very soon. And please do your best. Hi, Cecilia. How are you? Can you listen to me?
Hi, I'm sorry, teacher. I'm late. So sorry.
No, that's okay. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's fine. Well, I
Thank
had
you.
explained. No, don't worry. I had explained this to your classmates, but if you go to the WhatsApp group there, Cecilia, you're gonna find out that I sent documents. Okay, well, it's a Google Documents link, and if you open that, you're going to be able to see this. Okay, go to your WhatsApp group, and when you get into, you're gonna find out this is this document. Okay, this document contains within itself um, 3 reading passages. Okay, and well, as I say, these are going to be your practice for tonight. And well, what you have to do is to read these passages. And each passage also has its 30 questions. I was preparing this the entire afternoon, but here you have it, the passages and the questions, okay? 10 per passage. And well, you have time to complete this until 8:50. Of course, it's not the same time on the exam, but you can, of course, complete until the point you reach. And please do this. The questions, you cannot edit this document, by the way. It's just a view setting right now. But take another sheet of paper or a Word document if you want, and write down your responses, okay? Like first passage, first question, my response is the second option. Or for the second question, I go for the first one or for the third one, so that you can compare your responses with us later, okay? That is what you have to do. Is there any question, anything that I can clarify?
No, it's okay. Thank you.
Okay, my pleasure. So I'm gonna send you to a breakout room, all right? Just in case somebody else gets into and I have to explain again, not in order for you not to be perturbed. Okay, so I'm gonna send you to your breakout room and you're going to be able to come back very soon, all right? Please join this one and see you soon, okay? All right, great. I think that everybody has come back. So it's time for us to start with the responses. Well, thank you very much. Okay, I saw you were reading the document, and I hope that you find the passages and the questions to be very much simple and that you managed to apply everything we have learned throughout this week, right? Well, now I have a gift for you. And of course, that by logical necessity, when you have questions, you must have responses. So I want to send right now to the WhatsApp groups something else that accompanies that practice that I prepare for you. And of course, that is the responses for the questions you were receiving. So let me send it there and also here. A second. Oh, sorry, I opened this one. Okay, here it is. Okay. Fantastic. So if you open that document, dear students, you're going to find out the following. I was preparing this along with your practice throughout this afternoon. And I thought, well, I could just give them the responses like, A, B, C, and that. But I thought, well, I want to give them the opportunity to have a commentary of every single question in order for them to understand why I said that these answers are correct. And as you can see here, I included a quick responses guide, all right, in order for you to check out your responses very quickly. But I also offer you here, and as you can see, detailed review of every single question with its response so that you can know why is it that those responses are true or correct, okay? And by reading this, you can analyze every single one of the responses that I offer you, and you can compare them with your responses so that, of course, you can learn something else. You can actually check out how is your criteria for responding these questions working, if you are having the right criteria, if you are committing some mistake, there's some confusion maybe, you can find it out here, and of course to alter it and discover how can you improve in your reading. Okay, so you have the questions, and as you can see, commentaries for every single one of the questions and the responses. And at the end, okay, well, let us analyze right now one of those questions, okay, together in order for us to have a little bit of activity before we finalize tonight's class. Well, so if you read the first reading passage, I think that all of you read this one. It was about Cindy Sherman, right? So in this passage, the first question said the following. It was an essential information question. You remember that we talked about this last class. It was the first type of question that we actually saw, essential information question, right? And it says, which of the following best expresses the essential information? As you can see, it's actually part of the same question in the highlighted sentence. As a student at the State University College at Buffalo, New York, Sherman took courses in painting and composition, but did not find the medium satisfying. Incorrect answer choices change the meaning in important ways or without essential information. So here you have the answers or the possible answers. One says Sherman enrolled in art classes as a college student in the mid-1970s. Sherman was first trained as a painter, but did not find it completely fulfilling. Sherman's early painting and composition works were generally unsatisfying, and Sherman's work in college was unsatisfying and had little influence on her future. Well, as you can see, dear students, those would be the possible answers. And remember, you're going to be able to read this as well in the document that I just sent with the detailed feedback on every single one of those questions. But nonetheless, what I wanted to express is that if you remember, when we discussed this question type in class, I told you that these are possible responses that, well, express the same information than the highlighted sentence that we have above. And the point is to find out that answer or statement that contains a summary, or, well, let's say not a summary, but contains the same information or main ideas. That is, I think, the best terminology, that contains the main ideas, the central ideas of this highlighted sentence. Because we are looking, as I say, not for a response or a sentence in this case that contains every single one of the questions, or not of the questions, of the words, sorry, of the sentence, because certainly if they were including every single word and saying, well, now please find out the sentence that expresses the same information in this highlighted sentence, it will be too easy for you to identify, right, if they use every single word in the highlighted sentence. So as I said, it is not necessary for the correct answer here to contain every single one of the words or details of this sentence. What you're looking for is one of these options that contains the same main ideas and points made in our highlighted sentence. As you can see, that is our task, okay? And well, if you saw the document for this question, the correct answer is answer number 2, right? Yeah, answer number 2. And well, I also offer you already this feedback or review of why this is the correct answer, but nonetheless, let me do it right now. So, for example, the first sentence, let us analyze them one by one. Sherman enrolled in art classes as a college student in the mid-1970s. This is actually true, right? Because the highlighted sentence here tells us that when she was a student, she enrolled in a university as, as an art major, right? That is to say, she studied art in this particular university in the 70s. Now, there is a problem with that. And the problem is that, of course, although this does mention one of the main points made in the highlighted sentence, it leaves out one of the most important main points as well here. And which one? The point that says that she found those subjects, or she found this major to be unfulfilling, to be lacking satisfaction for him, because the sentence says that she did not find the medium satisfying. Therefore, as you can see, and as I expressed you, it says that she didn't find this to be very much realizing and fulfilling, and she didn't find complete satisfaction with this particular career or art major. Therefore, that is lacking in our response here, number 1, and cannot be the correct answer. What about the second one? That is indeed the correct answer. It says Sherman was first trained as a painter, but did not find it completely fulfilling. Now, this is the correct answer. And maybe you are objecting here right now, hey, but this doesn't have the words that the highlighted sentence contains, referring the university she studied at, right? Because it says in this case that she studied in this university at New York, in Buffalo, etc. But it doesn't, well, this sentence, the number 2, doesn't contain such information. And as I told you, it is not necessary for the correct answer to contain every single word or every single detail of the highlighted sentence. If you think about this highlighted sentence, actually, the reason why they ask, or not ask, the reason why they display this information about her university is because they want you to realize she wasn't a student. That is to say, she was receiving training as an art major, right? Therefore, it says here, Sherman was first trained as a painter. That is exactly the same idea they are trying to convey when they say, hey, she studied at this university and she studied art, right? It's the same. Again, it's not using the same words, true. Nonetheless, that is not what you're looking for. You're looking for the same ideas, right? And the same ideas here. And it actually says as well, she did not find it completely fulfilling. So as I say, that is what I told you the first answer lacked. And therefore, it is here in the second answer. And because it contains the 2 main ideas of the highlighted sentence, this is the correct answer because it talks about her training as an artist, and also that she didn't find painting, excuse me, and also composition to be fulfilling or realizing, right? Satisfying is the same word as well here. Well, fantastic. The third one, for example, Sherman's early painting and composition works were generally unsatisfying, is a wrong answer because this is talking about the quality of Sherman's works. But nonetheless, here in this sentence, we are not told if Sherman's works were actually good or bad, or if they were unsatisfying. No, here it talks about the, let's say, the art as such, but it doesn't talk about Sherman's works in that particular art, right? So this is certainly false. And the fourth one as well, it says Sherman's work in college was unsatisfying. Again, we are not receiving any information in our highlighted sentence about her work. And secondly, it says that it had little influence on her future. And maybe this is true, but in our sentence here, remember that everything for this question must be centered on the sentence. In our sentence, it doesn't say anything about the influence this had on her life later on. Well, as you can see, the only one that extends the proof or the criteria for this question is the second answer, and therefore is correct. Okay. Well, anyways, you have, as you can see here, a detailed review on every single one of these questions that I prepared for you. I was working on this the entire afternoon. And you also have here a little homework, but it's not a homework that you have to send right away to me or something. No, as you can see, for the third passage, I included a quick guide to the responses, which response, yes, is correct for each question. But nonetheless, I didn't include the review. And why? Because I want you to do it by yourself. Because when you make this review and you write down why are you choosing that particular answer, you're going to notice that the criteria you're using for choosing the answers is going to come up naturally to you on your table. And when you are having that information on the table, you can see if you get it wrong, why I say that you are getting these answers wrongly. And as I say, try to do this by yourself. Write down why did you choose any specific response you chose, and by comparing them with your responses that you have here, the correct responses, and analyzing the criteria you're using to decide which response is correct, trust me, you're going to improve a lot. Okay, so please do this. It is not necessary, nonetheless, to send this to me or something. It's just an exercise for you to practice. Okay, but for the first and the second passage, I did it for you to have a good understanding of why these answers are correct. Okay, fantastic. So we're going to stop here tonight. But let me please take your assistance, and please, dear students, collaborate me with the traditional poll with your kind responses. You know that I appreciate that very much. So please help me with that. And if you have any question, any commentary, please feel free to express it. See. All right. So it's here present, our dear Ramirez Camila. Okay. What about Mayra Alejandra? Okay. What about Salguero Fabiana? All right. What about Quiroga Adriana?
I'm here.
Thank you very much, dear Adriana. Fantastic. What about Alondra Lisette? Okay. What about Zúñiga Sergio?
I'm here.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. What about Quiroga José Miguel? Right. What about our dear Anaí Estefania? Okay. And finally, our dear Jorge Alberto.
Here.
Thank you very much, dear Jorge. All right, let's go with Abigail Graciela.
Present.
Thank you very much, dear Abigail. What about Roy Brian DeBitt?
Present.
Thank you very much, dear Roy. What about Patiño Araceli? Okay, what about Oscar Samuel Gonzalo? All right, what about our dear Mariana Baca? Okay, and finally, Maria Cecilia.
Present.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, dear Maria. Great. Awesome. Thank you very much, dear students, for your kind responses. I'm going to be seeing you next week in order to continue, and have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you very much, Carlos.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, dear students. Bye-bye. See you later.